So Nintendo surprised the world today with a patent for a console with no optical drive. This is definitely something different, something I had never really heard of. I mean, of course, games weren't always on discs. I mean, look at some of the most famous and best systems out there, like the SNES and the Nintendo. I mean, everybody knows that the console years, they didn't start on optical discs. However, this patent is for a console with no optical disc. Now, that can obviously make anyone jump to conclusions like this idea that they're going into mobile gaming and only going into mobile gaming. I mean, it could scare a few people. Oh my god, we're not going to see an actual console anymore. What are we going to do? But, you know what? That doesn't mean that. Just because they filed a patent for something and it's not going to carry discs, it doesn't mean that we're not going to get physical copies of games. It's alarming because there's a possibility, but I also just don't see that happening, because as much as Nintendo seems like this could be a different direction to go in and a step in the right direction, they're also smart. They are smart. I mean, you can look at E3 and call them idiots because they're not really doing much, and they're not saying much about all the stuff that they're doing, but they are smart. They do know what they're doing, and I think a lot of people, they just don't see them on the same level as these other heavy hitters like PlayStation and Xbox or Microsoft, Sony and Microsoft. However, you gotta think about it like this: they really aren't on the same plane. Nintendo is in one area, and then those two are off showing their dicks to each other and competing in another. And that's just how it's been for years now. Ever since, I would even say, the PlayStation 2, because that's when the Xbox came out. Those two would just compete. And then Nintendo, it's like, we're gonna go over here and have fun making our stuff. But anyway, not the topic. So this console, it does give me the idea that they could be going digital downloads with everything. And I mean, it's not necessarily a bad thing. There are people out there who don't want to have a physical copy of something laying around for if they have kids, if their kids break it, or just the idea that physical media won't work after a while. They want something that's going to work and keep working after they spend their $50-$60 on a game, or 40 or 30, depending on, handhelds or consoles. But not the point. So this whole patent thing, I feel that this is a topic that's going to blow up for the next week or so. People are going to have a lot of speculation. But you know what? That's basically what this is. They made a patent for something without an optical drive. We don't necessarily know what that means. And the big thing that I think I need to touch upon is we don't even know what this is for. Everyone can sit here and be like, they're abandoning plans for the Wii U, and they're going to start working on the NX, which means this patent has got to be for the NX. There's no way this could be for anything else. We don't know that. This right now is all speculation. It's all just smoke, basically. We're starting to peek into that smoke, and then we see that, and we just immediately assume that that's what we're looking at. Nintendo is very hush-hush about their stuff. I don't know if anyone's known that, but they are hush-hush about everything. I mean, hell, they literally just released the name of the NX, and this is a system that probably won't be coming out for 2 or 3 years. especially if they're as smart as I claim that they are, it will be at least 2 years before you see this, because people are all hopping on that bandwagon after E3 saying, oh, well, they're going to have to abandon their plans, any plans for the Wii U. They're going to release their 3 or 4 games that they've been talking about, and that'll be it. But you know what? These guys are not dumb. From my experience, the chain of events is usually that Nintendo usually... I feel like I can't talk ever, but I feel like Nintendo releases their products first. They're the first ones to get out in the market. They release their stuff, and then after that, Microsoft and Sony follow up shortly after. And I've even had I'm seeing that Nintendo's releasing their stuff like 6 months or even a year before the others. So honestly, like I said, I see a couple years between now and the release of the NX or the release of a new system, period. Now, as far as the NX in general, I mean, there's this article actually gives a lot more about this optical drive than we've ever heard about the NX. We're not sure if this is the NX. You gotta remember that, guys, where you don't even know. Not to mention, just because there's an optical drive does not mean that there won't be physical releases. Nintendo is not dumb. Some people might not think that they're smart, but they're certainly not dumb. I think the idea of physical media will not be completely abandoned. I don't think just because they want to do mobile stuff and digital downloads, it does not mean that we're losing physical media. I don't know that for sure, but I just don't think that Nintendo sees that as an option, because every company wants all of their fans to be included in buying one of their products. I just don't think that they're going to completely get rid of physical media. Not to mention, in this article that I'm kind of skimming over as we're going here, they have also on this patent council, while this optical drive is no longer on it, it does have a read-write card slot, is how they put it. And they're saying such as like an SD memory card. What do you know that has something that looks like an SD memory card? The DS and the 3DS. So even if our home console games were literally just as big as an SD card, that's still physical media. And that could be something that would be really interesting, because they're now jumping from having optical discs for their systems to going and using the same formula the formula that they use for their handhelds, and they're putting it towards a home console game, which is going to be crazy, because I mean, you look at the DS and 3DS and you get that little SD card, and most of them never, like, even after they stop releasing them and stuff, most of those never even go past like $60, like, as far as price. I mean, I think the one 3DS game that's the most valuable right now is the Ocarina of Time re-release. It was like $80. You could get literally just that card for like $80 on eBay, which is a stupid price. I don't think anyone should ever have to pay that much for something that big. But at the same time now we're looking at this console. It can take SD cards, but it can't take optical discs now. So I don't know. I just think it's going to be kind of crazy if they start using that as a physical media, and we're paying $60 for that little SD card in a case. It's still physical media though, and in the grand scheme of things, I could care less. I am a physical media person. That's why I'm a collector. I have all these game cases around with these discs. I have a bunch of carts over there and up there, and I love what I do, and collecting is a big part of my life, and I just absolutely love the physical aspect of it. But honestly, like I said, this is all speculation. There's nothing here that suggests that this could be the NX, but that's all these people seem to talk about is this something for the NX? Oh, we don't know. Speculation. This is literally just, we're peeking through, we see something, it's something different, so we're like, ooh, 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 and that's it. And that's it for this video. Thoughts, comments down below, please leave them, and you guys take care.